Liberty Nation. Truth is making a comeback.
Hello and welcome to Liberty Nation's LNTV. I'm your host Mark Angelides, and today I'm joined again by Scott D. Cosenza, the legal mind behind Liberty Nation. Welcome, Scott.
Hi, Mark.
Good to have you on. Today we're discussing another of your lawyer brethren, Mr. Michael Avenatti, who has made some huge headlines in the past couple of months, not least of which the Stormy Daniels saga. And of course, more recently, attempting to derail the Brett Kavanaugh nomination to the Supreme Court. Clearly it failed, Scott. So what kind of fallout is he facing, if any? What does he have to say about it?
Well, the Democrats seem to be somewhat divided on Avenatti. He's a source of anger for some that have declared without his involvement, they may have actually been successful in derailing the Kavanaugh nomination, but because of the really fantastic allegations of his client of gang rape, multiple gang rapes involving Judge Kavanaugh, he's seen as really throwing absurdity into the process that allowed Republicans to then paint all the sort of wall of accusations as ridiculous. And so that's some of the criticism that he's getting. He's pushing back against it, to be sure, but that's what we're seeing from some corners.
Yeah, I've heard Washington rumors. Not that I'm in Washington, but I've heard Washington rumors that some people think he was actually working for the Republicans.
Yeah, I think
it's what I hear.
That's 4D chess or 6D chess. I don't think that's true. It seems quite clear if you monitor Mr. Avenatti's Twitter feed, and I have monitored it a little bit, and with his actions with the Stormy Daniels case, Mr. Avenatti he wants one thing. He wants to be famous and to be anti-Trump and maybe to be president. And I don't believe that there's any shred of whiff of truth to the allegation that he may be working for the Republicans. He is adamant about defeating Donald Trump in the courtroom, at the ballot box, in any way possible, it seems.
Well, that really does bring us on to the next question. Is he really running for president? And if he is, what are the chances?
Michael Avenatti has had as a pinned tweet to the top of his popular Twitter feed for months now a statement of principles and issue positions that he has published. By the way, a great thing. I would hope all candidates would do that so we can see where they stand on things. So I appreciate that. But that tells me, and his visits to New Hampshire and Iowa tell me, that in fact he absolutely is running for president. The only thing that would stop him, I think, is not getting enough traction and money. That's what almost all these candidates who are kind of, the reason why they haven't declared is because they're not going to run if they can't get the support in the dough. And I think that if he does, he will. And he's certainly trying to generate that now by being the leading toe-to-toe anti-Trump voice out there. And in many ways, he is.
Yeah, I would agree that he absolutely is. The interview with former Trump campaign chief Steve Bannon on, I believe it's pronounced Bill Maher, yes. Bill Maher, and he said that the only real fighter in the political arena at the moment against Trump is Avenatti himself. But
Mark, in my LibertyNation.com profile, I wrote about Avenatti. I likened them to one another. I thought they were both very similar. They're both interested in and comfortable with relatively highbrow engagement and very lowbrow engagement, and we see both from both of them.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that the Democrats will actually get behind Avenatti?
If he's a winner, they will. In other words, if he can bring the votes, I think that they'll fall in line. They're ready for any capable hand that will hold the whip, I imagine.
No, I mean, he's a brawler. He speaks, even though he has picked up one or two bad nicknames along the way. We shan't mention them here. But what is his plan here? He's mentioned time again that it's not over with Kavanaugh. So what's his plan here?
Well, I think it seems like it's twofold. One is to move for some sort of impeachment proceedings against Kavanaugh investigation with a Democrat House would be required for that in order to issue subpoenas and things so they can get some committee chairmanships. And the other is to pack the court. He has, for months now, since since Merrick Garland, since that debacle, argued that Democrats, when they achieve power, should add seats to the Supreme Court, just like President Roosevelt threatened to do when the New Deal programs were getting stricken down, and just simply cancel out Trump's Supreme Court appointments of Gorsuch and Kavanaugh by just adding some more of their own.
That is that seems like the thin end of the wedge to me. I mean, where does it stop? It
stops with Republicans then adding 4 more, and then Democrats 8 more, until there's more people in the Supreme Court than aren't on the Supreme Court, I think, is where it quickly would add. But yeah, I haven't seen Mr. Avenatti address, how this would then stop. I heard a criticism the other day, Mark, about the entry of many countries into World War I, where they said nobody really wanted to go in. Everybody's sort of waiting for the other one to stop things. And it seems like we could have a situation like that here.
So is his plan to pack out the Supreme Court, is that actually gaining any traction amongst sensible people?
Mark, when he first said it or tweeted it, I didn't see much in the way of other organizations or prominent individuals talking about it. But I see it being talked about more and more. In fact, there was a big Washington Post piece today or yesterday mentioning it. Now, they weren't full-throated endorsements of it, but the more it gets talked about as not an outlier, but some reasonable thing, the closer it gets to fruition. I would say now it is certainly an outlier, but how things become mainstream is they start getting as an outlier and get pushed in the middle. And I see that pushing starting to happen with this court packing scheme. We'll see if it dies on the vine or he's able to get it into the mainstream.
As somebody without a dog in the fight, as it were, to see what should be a solid opposition party. I mean, from a British perspective, the opposition party, we call our opposition party Her Majesty's Opposition. And they have a job to do. Their job is to be the opposition government. Now, that doesn't mean shouting. That means offering another view. And it's a shame to see, at least in my opinion, the American official opposition party, like coming back to dogs with this, like a dog with a bone, they're so desperate to jump onto anything that can give them that little bit of fire, a little bit of an extra vote, a little bit of sustenance. And to me, that seems a shame. I think it actually weakens them. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't have the memory to recall his exact words, but I know that Winston Churchill wrote very eloquently about the duty of those in the minority when faced with a majority they disagree with, while maintaining loyalty to the mother state. And I think that everybody, including Michael Avenatti and the Democrats, could use to read Churchill on this matter, to be sure.
I agree, although there is news running around today. People are being hounded and threatened with loss of jobs for quoting Churchill now. Thanks for being here, Scott.
Thank you, Mark.
And thank you to you at home for watching and taking part. You can always press subscribe, like, set your notifications so you won't miss any videos from Liberty Nation. Or you can head straight over to our site, libertynation.com, to check out more podcasts, radio, TVs, and a really great range of articles. Thanks for being here. Take care.
Visit us at libertynation.com.